Hi, we are Łukasz,
I am Mateusz.
and we are designers of Hood, Troubles in Sherwood. And in this short film, we'll try to tell you more about faction of Sheriff of Nottingham, about the original idea for the faction, about its mechanics, and a bit on
The cultural and historical context.
Yeah, this will be kind of difficult because he never existed. He exists in our hearts.
From the mechanical point of view, Sheriff has the most powerful nipples, and it's purposely because he is the power in the land. When there are more guardsmen in one place, it's a powerhouse. It's difficult to destroy, it's difficult to defeat, but there are not so many of them. So when Sheriff wants to be everywhere, he is making himself weaker. But it's also the way for him to win, to take control of the land.
Yeah, and he is the only faction that is actually able to steamroll the board, but it's not really an effective way to play because you can collect 3 meeples at one place and you have 6 strength. That's a lot in this game. But you are at the same time only in this one place. So everywhere around you are your enemies, but not where you want them.
And when this bunker is destroyed, actually you disappear from the board. So exactly, it's not the best way to play Sheriff, but still it's effective and kind of efficient. So.
Yeah, and Sheriff needs to be in many places at the same time, so he will get 3 meeple every turn from the game at the start of his turn, but he will get it in Nottingham, which is the only place where you cannot fight anyone at all, and you need to get him where you want him. And so the most actions that will be taken by Sheriff are moves. He's constantly marching through the board, trying to, march into someone he can fight with.
Exactly, and when his grip is strengthening, he can make some decrease, which make him stronger and making him the true ruler of the land.
Yeah, he will leave the kind of area control pieces on each area he wins fight in. This is called note, and after getting enough notes spread out through the land, he can turn them over to issue a decree. Decrees are extra rules for the sheriff that make him more powerful, and you need, every time you pick a decree, you need to choose a side of the decree, and the other side will never be available for you during this game. So it's kind of fun because you're constantly choosing. You have very powerful moves to take, your meeples are very powerful, your decrees, these extra rules are powerful, but every time you do anything, it's painstakingly taken because you are at the same time losing other opportunities.
Exactly, which also increases replayability because every game you can choose the other side of it.
Okay, a little bit from the designer diary. I can't say it was with us from the beginning, but at some point we came up with the idea of the law and order matrix. So we had a lot of rules and bonuses for the sheriff to be chosen and taken, and we gave player a meeple that wandered this matrix. And
yes, it was really nice because it was kind of like miniature of the map. So the sheriff had his own map, like the little board near his board, so it was like double board.
Yeah, and the table with the matrix.
And his board, so okay, it was so convoluted.
You needed to match the colors from the main board and your little board, and then you could choose the new rule, new bonus from the matrix. And we got very interesting feedback from that. Everybody told us this is a very fun faction to play.
Very fun.
But my head hurts.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So now it's much more streamlined. The decrees are much easier to issue, and the sheriff is playing more on the board than on his little boards.
Yeah. From the historical point of view, the Sheriff of Nottingham is the institution of state oppression on this board. And to be honest, during the medieval period, especially during the end of the 12th century, which is the reign of King Richard the Lionheart, and the last 10 years of this century, there was no state to be talked about. The knights, the nobility in the land, they ruled the land, they enforced everything. And actually, this period is very interesting because we have the Baron Rebellion. The nobility, the high nobility, rebelled against Prince and then King John, and eventually forced him to sign Magna Carta. And it's very fun to watch it, for example, in movies, because it's the nobility which were the force of the state oppression, fighting against the troops that medieval kings are really not supposed to have. So we try to include some of this fantasy in here. So sheriff has his guards or soldiers, but remember, during this period, this would be lower nobility and more of that.
And from the more cultural point of view, not always was the sheriff the antagonist of Robin Hood. In the early ballads, there is not always the sheriff, but if he is in the ballad, he is always the villain. So the powerhouse and the strong power grip on the land, it's always in the cultural text. So of course there must be Sheriff of Nottingham, so he is, and he always must be the power-hungry villain, as he is in our game.
Yeah, and to give you something to look for, we wanted Robin Hood and Sheriff to be the main antagonists, and they are, but they cannot concentrate on this fight every bit of their strength, because there are other dangers coming from the people of the faith.
Yes.
And people from beyond the seas. So look forward for other movies about other factions, and if you're interested in our game, please consider checking out the link for the campaign on GameFund. This will be in the description. Goodbye.
Thank you, bye.